It's January 3rd, 2021. Um, I found some gentleman by the name, or Lou, showed me a video of some guy named Bruce Lipton tonight. I think it's Lipton instead of Litton, something like that. He was speaking of an experience of his own, but he's a geneticist, and he started using words that sounded familiar, but not familiar in the context of I've heard others speak on it. It's just something that I just know to be certain. And then he trailed off on his spiel, spracha, whatever, his planned routine of speak, and I watched it for very little. I got the gist of it, and then I was off. Because he goes into these mantras of like, you're still in control. No, no, you're not. Especially in the socio-economic and political climate that I'm currently oppressed under in New York. No, there's bigger problems on the horizon and in the vertical lift. I spoke to some person who now is calling me, but I don't know from where. I have no way of verifying it. And I had mentioned to him about birds with almost like the honing pigeons, whereas the bird doesn't have a problem with flying. It knows to fly here to there and back, and it knows midair that it's in flight. And unless something hits it with some form of disorienting honing situation, it'll either drop from the sky or it'll get disoriented and not be able to make its normal migrational whatever. I feel in New York that, and I said just as much, that some of these large private electrical source towers, they have them on different rooftops that they've installed them on. I don't know what kind of sponsorship they needed within the state. I know for a while they were running some kind of rooftop rebate and solar panels and things. These things that they installed are not solar panels. And if they are considered solar panels and that's how they were built, then they lied on their application because they're not the traditional solar panel, but they use high extreme amounts of energy and they're weaponized. And it's a weaponized energy grid. I know I see them in my local area. I know I feel the effects of them. I can see them disrupting the bird's natural migration patterns and natural ability to fly sometimes. So that's a problem. So like there's this like Bruce, like there's beyond what Bruce is saying, and I'm not even crazy about the fact that the humans got up to where Bruce is in lecturing everyone in epigenetics and genetics and the interaction thereof, because he seems to cater to a very progressively whatever group, and that tends to be a problem with some aviation issues that I've noticed, and some residency issues that I've noticed the humans now have tacked on to all these other really aggressive, unnatural movements. So, there's that. And then there's this 4 letters that came up, and I don't know how it came up. DCFS. And if that's somehow within La Commedia of Divine Comedy of Field Security, um, I am I'm supposed to be in my own field security protective nest, but I feel as though somehow, whether it be before I arrived or after I arrived, somehow someone broke into my private field security file, whether it be through DC or through devious channel elsewhere, and they've sold decades of my life to all the wrong scenario and situation to paint me into some really dangerous situations that I'm not alright with, never was. But I don't know how to avoid because I can't see it coming, even though it seems to make somebody else's schedule that they refuse to give back or to give up for some reason. I remember first time I ever went to Atlantic City. I went because, not because I was going to the hotel or because I wanted to see what a casino looked like. I had no interest whatsoever. I went because I had finished a series of real estate classes and I got something called a GRI or GREI. And I went for my graduation certificate to Atlantic City, which is where they had the ceremony or the certificate, whatever. And that's the only reason why I went. I remember John Iannuzzi drove me because I was afraid to go alone. And when I was there, some really hot guy, as usual, really mad about something, which I had no idea why, stopped me in the foyer and asked me something about if I said I would comp you a room, would you stay? And I was like, well, yes, I would. I'd stay overnight if that was the case. I don't have money for a hotel. So I was going to just drive back to New York. I mean, so, and then it came up something about venture capitalist, which I didn't know what that was. Never even heard of it before. I think I had heard of it once before on a strategic management call with Christopher Armstrong set up with some firm where I had some coaching calls with someone, but I thought it was more for career development. But then it became like I had to pay for the service. And again, I didn't have money. I was struggling in real estate to even just get listings at that point. Since I was like my only career choice, didn't exactly have people knocking down my door, offering me salary and a position somewhere. And I think somebody mentioned it then on a call. But again, it didn't connect because I didn't know what it meant. I still don't know what it means. I mean, I know it has something to do with like a fund of some sort, I'm assuming, but I really don't know. Um, I don't know what else. It's like getting me out of the house is one thing. It's usually a corporate event, but all the corporate events take place around casino-like settings. But I don't go to casino-like settings. I go to the conference center, and then I go back to the room. I don't partake in any of the floor or shows or whatever. I mean, I think I have once, but on each part. But that was if I had lived without ever participating in that, I would have been fine. Um, it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11261. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxies, Broken. And it's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Catarusa.